We're going to start off in a seated position, leaning forward for a nice stretch. Let's lean over to the left, stretching out those shoulder blades, and then to the right. Sitting up nice and tall, palms open to the ceiling. Deep breaths. And we're going to transition onto our back. Pull those knees in towards the chest. Legs coming up. Deep breath. Bringing those legs down. Right leg coming down, left up. We're going to climb that leg up to the ankle and hold. And then the cat's going to get in the way of the camera.
He sat in front of the camera. I'm making a video right now. God.
And here we go, take 2, starting over. So we're going to start out on our back, knees hugged in, chin coming to the chest. We're going to start with scissors. So keeping that chin to the chest, we're just going to alternate nice and slowly, bringing up the right leg and then the left, reaching for the shin area. You want to focus on breathing through this, not holding your breath. Toes are pointed. And hug those knees into the chest, take that head back. Nice deep breath. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. And we're going to roll up. Good posture. We're going to take right leg out, point the toe, bring it down. Wrapping the arm around the left leg, we're going to take the leg out to the side and forward with toe pointed. Out to the side, take it forward. Let's open up, stretch, elongate, and work those hips and inner thighs. So again, lift, take it out to the side, back to center and down. Toe is pointed. Leaning back just a little to engage that core. Hugging both knees in, we're just going to switch legs, taking it up, out to the side, back to center and down. Focusing on the breath. And sitting up tall on our sit bones with good posture. Slowly lowering the right leg with foot flexed. And then the left, palms on the mat. We're going to slowly roll back, one vertebrae at a time. Fingers reaching towards the ceiling. And slowly coming back up, one vertebrae at a time. Reach for those toes. Tuck the chin into the chest. Deep breath. Coming up tall, we're going to transition to our back into single leg pulls. So the chin is to the chest, alternating, bringing right to left leg in towards the chest with toes pointed. A classic Pilates move, we're working that core. You'll be tempted to hold your breath with this move. Be sure you breathe through it. Now we're hugging those knees in. Nice deep breath. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. And here we go again. Single leg pulls. Keeping those toes pointed. chin to the chest. And hug those knees in, release the neck. Everything coming up towards the ceiling, toes and fingers. Everything coming down all at once to the floor. Deep breath. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Reach for those toes again. Stretching out that lower back. And rolling back down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to go into big leg circles. So we're flat on our back, palms at our side, making big circles with the right leg, toe pointed. And pull that leg in towards the chest, flex the foot, push it out with foot flexed. Bring it back in, pushing it out. Point the toe. Opposite leg, big circles in the air with toe pointed. Deep breaths, pulling it towards the chest with foot flexed, pushing it away, and pulling it in again, pushing it away. Point the toe, and release. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time, again, reaching for those toes, tuck that chin into the chest. Sitting up tall, we're gonna lay back. Going into the plow pose. So rolling all the way back, toes touching the floor behind you. And we're gonna bring those legs up and just set those knees right on the forehead and hold. Toes are pointed, and we're gonna bring the lower body down nice and slow, feet to the floor. Deep breath. Back into that plow pose. Try to touch those toes on the mat behind you. If you can't, no worries. And transition to knees to forehead. Point those toes. And coming down super slow. Feet to the floor. Nice job. Arms coming back behind. Deep breath. We're going to roll up. Transitioning to knees and palms. We're going to sit back into child's pose. Then we're going to kick out the left leg, pointing the toe. Take it out to the side, toe to the floor, and take it back. Holding, and again to the side, toe to the floor, and hold, keeping that tummy tight and pulled up. Take that foot back again, and to the side, and take it back. Take it to the side, take it back, and release. Now opposite leg, we're going to take it back, point the toe, take it to the side, touch the floor, and take it back. To the side, and back. Side, and back. Deep breaths. To the side, and back. Release that leg. We're going to walk those palms out so we can come down on our forearm and reach through with the right arm. Holding this position. Coming back up, both palms. Now the left arm is reaching through as we come down on the right forearm. back to child's pose. Stretching out that lower back. Sitting up tall on our knees. We're going to put our hands behind the lower back and hinge forward. Forehead to the mat. Coming back up. Good posture, chest is out, tummy's tight, and hinging forward again, keeping those hands behind the lower back. And coming back up, deep breaths, arms extended out in front. Take them out to the sides. Deep breath. We're going to scoop forward, reaching and back to child's pose. Coming to all fours in tabletop position. We're going to bring the left leg forward, framing the foot with our palms, holding this position. So see how my leg is kind of tucked into the armpit? I'm going to curl those toes under and pop up, locking out that back leg. Holding this position. Coming down. We're just going to switch legs. So right leg is going to come forward. Again, we're going to frame the foot with those palms, holding this position. And we're going to curl those toes under, pop it up, locking out that back leg, and hold. Nice big stretch in that hamstring. And coming down. Releasing that leg. So here we are in tabletop. Nice deep breath. And we're going to transition on to our side. So we're laying on our left side, head in the palm. We're going to take top leg, bring it up and over. The bottom leg is stretched out long. And we're going to pulse, pulse, pulse. Just lifting that bottom leg with foot flexed to work that inner thigh. And let's hold. And bring that leg back down. Back to those pulses. Again, we're working that inner thigh. You want to keep your tummy nice and tight. And again, we're going to hold. And take it down. Now we're just going to transition to clamshells. So we're going to lift that top leg up with knee bent and then kick it forward. So lifting with knee bent, kick it forward with toe pointed. Again, we're going to work hips with this and inner thighs. So we're breathing deeply. We're keeping that tummy nice and tight. Now resting that leg, we're going to transition to the other side of the body. So we're coming down on our right side. We're going to bring that top leg up and over. Bottom leg is straight out as we pulse, working that inner thigh. And we're going to hold, taking it down. Deep breath. We're going to go back to those pulses. So pulsing in the air, that leg is not touching the floor during these pulses. And again, we're going to hold. And take it down slowly. Top leg comes stacked on top of the bottom, and again, we're going to come up in a clamshell. So we lift that knee bent, kick it out forward, and back to stacked, lift it, kick it out forward. That toe is pointed. We're keeping that tummy nice and tight as we work hips and inner thighs. Legs are stacked, coming up knee bent, kick it out forward with toe pointed. Remember to breathe through it. Now we transition to sitting up on the right side of our body. We're going to come down on the elbow and reach over. Legs are stacked. And coming back up. Deep breaths. Again, we're going to come down on that forearm, reaching over. And coming back up. Now we're just going to switch sides, so legs are stacked, coming down on that forearm, reaching over. And coming up. Don't worry if you started on a different side of the body than I did, as long as you hit both sides. Reaching over, coming up. All right, transitioning again. So we're sitting up tall. We're going to pull that left leg in. We're going to twist around so that tricep is right on the knee, twisting and looking behind. And we're going to switch sides, so bending the opposite leg, twisting opposite way, tricep is sitting on the knee. We're twisting again and looking behind. This is a great spinal twist, a great spine stretch. Coming forward. And we're going to transition to sawing off that baby toe. So we're sitting up tall as we twist with fingers together. We twist and reach as far as you can, like you're cutting off that baby toe. If you're not quite flexible enough yet to reach that far, just go through the movement and reach as far as you can. And sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring that right leg up and then left. We're going to reach for the toes and bring that chin down to the chest for a stretch. So legs are open, chin to the chest, stretching out the neck, lower back, and inner thighs. Bring that right leg down and then left. Feet are flexed, reaching for those toes. And coming up nice and tall. Now we're going to transition to standing. I want a nice bend in those knees. We're going to reach down, palms to the floor. Notice how my toes are pointed out. We're going to come up slowly. Roll those shoulders back once you get to the top. Coming down again, palms to the mat, a bend in those knees, tuck that chin into the chest. And coming up slowly. Now we are transitioning to reaching to left ankle and then right. Those knees are locked out. Coming back down, palms to the mat, knees bent, a little pulse with that squat position. Locking those knees out with palms still on the mat. Slowly rolling up, stepping in, come to the end of your mat. We're going to walk it out to a downward dog. Push those heels down, tuck the chin into the chest. Pedal those knees like a bicycle. From here, we take right knee to left forearm, then take it back nice and high, point the toe. We're going to bring that knee in again, take it back, up high, point the toe, bringing it in. That foot comes down, we're going to switch legs and bring it up tall, point the toe. Bringing it in again towards the forearm, up high, point the toe. Bringing it in and taking it to the floor, back to down dog. Push those heels down. Now up to tippy toes. And to tabletop, push it up. To tabletop, push it up. Keep it going. And walking it forward. Coming up slowly with hands in a prayer position. Now facing forward, we're going to take legs apart, toes pointed out. We're going to dive through and wrap arms around the ankles, holding. So I have a slight bend in those knees. Chin is tucked into the chest. Palms to the mat, lock the knees out for a big stretch in those hamstrings, rolling up slowly. Now we transition to the end of the mat. Fingertips to the mat, looking down so we don't strain the neck. Palms to shins, looking ahead. Now we're going to walk it out to a downward dog, pushing those heels down, chaturanga down, head comes back, pushing back up to downward dog. Right arm, thread the needle through and hold. Now left arm, thread it through and hold. Back to down dog, lower those knees. Arch that back into angry cat. Leaning back into child's pose, nice deep breaths. Release that lower back. All right, coming up tall, arms in a V. We're going to swoop down, forehead to the mat. Notice I have index finger to thumb coming around up into a V, stretch out big, coming down, forehead to the mat. We're on our knees, legs together, coming up and coming down. Feel that great movement in the shoulders. Coming up to a V, coming down. Deep breath as you come up, blow it out as you come down. Hands in prayer position in front of the chest, coming down, booty to heels, coming up. And coming down, coming back up. Keep it going. We're breathing through this movement. And we're going to pop it up, standing up tall, arms up and around, hands to prayer position, step out big, diving through again, wrapping those arms around the ankles. Palms to the mat, popping up that booty, locking out the knees. Big stretch, left and right. Now we transition to a quick plank hold. Keep that tummy up. Now we're going to pop it forward, coming up with legs locked out. Big stretch up, reach for the ceiling. Left leg coming up into a flamingo hold. So bend that knee and hug it in as we lean forward. Opposite knee, a little bend. We're going to hold this position. We're working on balance, coming back up, keeping that knee hugged, and release it. Opposite leg, hug that knee up, nice and tight, flex the foot, bend forward, holding that position, focusing in on that balance, hugging the knee as we come back up and release. Coming down in the prayer position, we're going to twist. So tricep lays on the knee, prayer hands together. Back to center, coming up tall, going in the opposite direction. This is a great move for bloating, for digestion, for inflammation. Notice I have a bend in those knees, coming up, leaning forward, reaching for those toes. Deep breath, tuck that chin into the chest. And coming up slowly, we're going to transition here to a warrior pose, looking down those arms, coming up center. Then coming back into a surfer type position. And back to center. Arms up tall, back to that warrior, looking down that arm towards the fingertips. Back to center. And leaning back into that surfer pose. Back to center. And take it forward, bend that knee, looking down that arm towards the fingers. Back to center. Notice my front foot is facing forward, back foot is sideways. Now we're just going to switch sides with that same move. So point that front toe out, back foot is sideways, leaning into that warrior, looking down the arm towards the fingertips, come up center tall, and lean back into that surfer pose. Come up center, those knees lock out. Again, coming forward, front knees bent, looking down, coming center, and back to surfer pose, back knees bent. Back to center, take it forward, front knee bends, looking down that arm, back to center, and back to that surfer pose. Up to center again, reach up tall. Now we're going to hinge forward, bend those knees, palms to the mat. Toes pointed out, rolling up slowly. Now we're going to come round and around, big circles with those hips and torso. I've got a little bend in those knees, loosening up those hips and torso area. Now we're going to switch directions. Great move for the lower back as well. Now reaching forward, palms to the mat, a bend in those knees. Pop it up, coming up nice and tall, arms around, hands in that prayer position, and chair squat. Leaning forward to take a bow. Excellent job. We have some bonus Pilates moves for you. So you're going to start on your left side, head in your hand, opposite hand up on your head as well. Bottom knee is bent, and we're moving that leg like you're pedaling a bicycle. Toe pointed, flex the foot as you come back. Then we're going to tap, tap, lift, and back into that bicycle movement. Flex the foot as you come back, and then point the toe as you come around. Tap, tap, lift. And now we go into tiny circles. Toe is pointed. And tiny circles in opposite direction. Nice job. Now we're going to transition to the opposite side of the body and do the same thing. Moving that leg like a bicycle. Toe pointed, foot flexed as you come back. Head in the hand, opposite hand also on the head. This challenges your balance and core strength because you don't have that arm in front of the chest to support you. Moving that leg like a bicycle. Tummy stays tight. Tap, tap, lift. Coming down. And tiny circles forward. and tiny circles back. Toe is pointed. Now we transition to Pilates pulses, but with knees bent and then kick out. So we're gonna pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kick it out. Legs are tight together, toes pointed. 5 pulses, kick it out. 5 pulses, kick it out, chin is to the chest. Legs tight together, toes pointed. A great move for core strength. Pull those knees in, take the head down, and thanks for chilling with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.